Okay, is this working now? Yes. Hello, it's me, Mayohosko. I'm sorry for the delay. I've just been trying to figure out how to get this thing to work and messing around with my microphone, my Blue Yeti microphone. So hopefully the audio quality is a lot better than my previous live streams. And I've just been dealing with some slow internet issues, but it seems like the megabits per second is back up to what's required. So, as you might know, I haven't done my Lego City Mayo City update yet for the month of June, so that means I need to get that out. I have been uploading all of my podcast episodes on Mondays, if you had kept track of the schedule, but so that I can get the Mayo City update, out before the end of the month. I hope to get, I'm going to be doing the Mayo City update on Monday and the podcast on Thursday so that I can get that done. So what I want to do in this live stream is I want to take these road base plates and I want to put 2x2 light tan elements on for the sidewalks. And I've had an idea recently, instead of trying to connect the road plates together with plates, why don't I try use Technic elements instead, so that they can be somewhat of a modular system without me having to keep plates on them and run the risk of the plates pulling up off of the base plates and not holding. So that's an approach I'm going to attempt to go with. I want to use 1x1 Technic bricks, but I think I'm going to have to go with a 2x2 for the time being until I can get some more 1x1 Technic bricks. Because the ones with the pinholes, not the axle holes, because I have a lot of Technic pieces, and this is actually one way where I think using Technic pieces will be an advantage to the design of one of my projects. So let's get paving, shall we? So if I turn and hold down, you can see that I've taken the base plates out from under the table, and I've got them over here behind me, and this is my pile of 2x2 light tan elements. Just got to do regular checks to see if my microphone is still connected, and it is. That's good for the quality. So now let's get paving. So I'm just going to talk as I do the paving. So what I like to do is I like to have a 4-stud wide pavement, because that is the width of a minifigure. I find that 4 studs wide is the perfect width. I know some people do 3 studs wide. I know others do 5 studs wide with using the 1x2 grill pieces for drain vents, or the lines to mark the sides of the road or something. But and other people do 6 studs wide. But I like the 4 stud wide myself, because that allows me to get more space for the buildings that I put in between the sidewalks, in between the streets. Because as you know, if you watch my Lego City Mayo City updates, you know that majority of my city is road plates, and so I don't use a lot of regular 32x32 base plates in between all of the road plates, because with the vintage scale you don't really need to have you don't really need to create blocks for buildings using regular 32 by 32 base plates. You can just put miniaturized vintage scale small buildings onto the existing road, the existing original style of road plates. And I see that we're fluctuating between 1 and 2 views right now. Because with the old style road plates that came out in 1978, the footpaths on the side of the road is 9 studs wide. So if you have two different streets side by side, that can give you a total of 10 studs depth for placing buildings in between the sidewalks of the 2 different streets. See the 5 stud wide gap in between the edge of the sidewalk and the edge of the road plate. So in this style, you can try to do 2 5 stud wide buildings back to back. You can do one a 110 10 stud deep building, or you can do what most people would probably do and have 1 6 stud deep building back to back with a 4 stud deep building. And that's probably what I'll end up doing for the majority of my streets, is I'll have a 6 stud wide, no sorry, not a 6 stud wide, a 6 stud deep building behind a 4 stud deep building, because that way I can utilize the very handy 1 by 6 by 5 panels. And speaking of those panels, so this is a little bit of a teaser, but I went to the Lego store today because I saw that on the Facebook group that shows, or that takes pictures of the different elements on the pick-a-brick wall, that they had a bunch of the 1 by 6 by 5 panel pieces. The panels, the ones that are the corrugated steel, and the one with the cross supports. So that'll be in a vlog slash haul video coming out soon. I just need to edit that footage. And I am still behind on the whole video from my last Lego store vlog. So I apologize for that. But during the Mayohosko Winter Bonanza, as I am going to call it, where hopefully I can film, edit, and prepare to upload 90 videos in the month of July 2021, I can get all of that stuff done, as well as other projects. Like, if you've seen my recent videos, you know that there are a lot of junk Lego builds that I want to tear down and rebuild. And there are existing mocks that I've made. There's the first base plate, road base plate with its footpaths. And actually, I need to do a slight adjustment. What I need to do is I need to take the ends off so that I remember to put the Technic pieces in. I'm going to need a brick separator. Where is a brick separator? There's a brick separator. I can't see one near me. Where is a brick separator? There's a brick separator. I apologize for any loud noises when I'm rattling through my pieces. Oh, that plate went flying. Oh, and also I use the 2x2 jumper elements rather than the regular 2x2 tiles, because that allows me to position minifigures on the footpaths without the fear of them falling over if I just breathe on them. And it allows me to place them at non-90-degree angles, like you would if you just used 2x2 plates. So quick adjustment, taking off the last rows at the top and the bottom so that I can put in, well, later on I will put in 1x1s, but for the time being I'm going to put 1x2 Technic bricks, and I think I am going to do them in the dark bluish grey colour so that I can have my road plates connected by Technic pins, which means I don't have to fear about plates pulling up for the connection like I explained earlier in this live stream. Actually, what I do want to do is I want to have one 2x2 jumper in next to the 1x2 Technic plates, and I'm thinking in these 1x2 gaps right here, I'm just gonna have 1x2 10 tiles, or if I can get them cheaper, I'll just use 1x2 plates. So, do I have any? Let me look in my drawers. Have any 10? I know I need to get a lot of pieces from Bricklink. Let's do a quick observation. And I'm not seeing any. So that'll go on the wanted list. Actually, are those? No, they're 2x2 bricks. No, sorry, 1x2 bricks. Actually, could they be in? No, they're not there. I'm going to have to get those elements off Bricklink. So that's the first plate done. Let's put that to the side. I think I'm going to do all of the straight road plates first because they're easier to do. They're easier to lay the jumpers. And what else? Oh yes. Whenever I go to the pick-a-brick wall at the Lego store, if they have them, I always get the 2x4 by 2/3 wheel fender pieces because that's the best fender elements for making small cars in a vintage scale, in my opinion. So I always like to stock up on those. And to fill the gaps of my pick-a-brick cup, I always like to find small elements. And I can't remember some of the previous ones. Actually, I think the previous in my previous Lego Store vlog videos or haul videos about pick-a-brick cups, I think the smallest pieces I was able to find were 1x2 plates. If I recall correctly, I got a bunch of dark blue or earth blue 1x2 plates. But this time, they actually had some 1x1 elements on the pick-a-brick wall. They had the 1x1 half-round tiles in white. And if you've seen some of the creator sets, some of the 3-in-1 creator sets, Legos use those elements for teeth of animal builds. But I'm thinking I can use them for architectural details. So those were really nice elements to find on the pick-a-brick wall. And another cool element, in the previous Lego Store vlog and pick-a-brick cup haul, I got some dark green seaweed pieces, and I got a bunch of the new style flower stems, because whenever I see plant elements on the pick-a-brick wall, I always make sure to pick them up, because plant elements, much like my beloved 1x6x5 panel pieces, are very expensive on Bricklink and Bricks and Pieces, formerly Pick-a-Brick Online. Those pieces can go anywhere from 50 cents to $2. So they're a very valuable part. And anytime I see them on the pick-a-brick wall, I'll get them. Plant elements and the pounds. Well, this time they had the 5x6 leaf pieces in the bright green. So I was able to pick up some of those, and that's in my pick-a-brick cup. And that's up there on my table. I've got 3 pick-a-brick cups that I need to do haul videos of. So I'm well behind with that. And once again, I apologize for being behind with that. It's just that I don't have a proper studio, and I want to make a proper studio to add to the production value of the mayohosko channel. Because previously I've used a white bed sheet hanging from dining table chairs, and that's been very unprofessional on my behalf, because when I've done videos like the vintage mini set reviews, they have their individual videos as well as a compilation video, which you can check out the vintage Lego playlist on my channel in my list of playlists, as well as the compilation video in my compilation, or in the playlist that I think is Mayo's compilation. If I'm wrong about any of that stuff, please feel free to correct me down below, because I don't have a good memory about the exact titles of my videos or the titles of my playlists, because I'm always filming videos and trying to come up with titles that are relative to those videos and aren't clickbait, because I don't want to have clickbait on my YouTube channel. Let's put in the Technic pieces. 1, 2, not that one. 3, now that's an actual pin. And 4. And actually, I should probably get out my bag of Technic pins and Technic axles, which is right here. I keep all of my Technic pins and Technic axles in this bag, rather than having them in one of my shelves. No, sorry, in one of my drawers of my orange drawer, of my orange storage units. So I want to use the black. I want to use the black Technic pins. Let's dive to the bottom of this bag, so I can get the Technic pin connection. And I know that a lot of city builders use the Mills system, the modular integrated landscape system, which is what MILS is an acronym for. But I've always used road plates. I've had these vintage style road plates for a long time, and I like the aesthetic of the vintage style road plates, so I don't have plans to convert to the MILS system, although I think the MILS system has a better look to it. It's just more practical for me to use these base plates rather than have to order hundreds of pieces from Bricklink or Bricks and Pieces or something to build my roads. And actually, I think for support, I'm going to put 2x2 tiles on top. I think I want to use dark bluish grey. Let's see if I have any 2x2 tiles. Where are they? Where are you? No, not there. Where could they be? Maybe here? Yeah, for the time being, I'm just, since I see these right now, I'm going to use the dark bluish grey 2x2 jumpers. And you know what? I actually like the look of using the 2x2 versions. The 1x2 Technic bricks. And you know what? I think that actually gives it more structural support. So you know what? I think I'm going to stick with using the 1x2 dark bluish grey Technic bricks. And when I have them back to back, oopsie, it just came a little bit unstuck. When I have them back to back, it's pretty stable. It's not, there's a lot of downforce right here with the gravity, and it's staying pretty still. So you know what? I think I'm gonna stick with these. I think they're stronger than using regular 2x2 plates or something. It's time for a water break. Hashtag always be hydrated. And haven't seen any comments or likes on this live stream, but it's a Saturday night and I'm guessing people are just busy. So people might come back to watch on the replay, and that's fine. While I'm at 131 subscribers, I'm not fussed if people tune into the live streams live or they watch it on the replay. Anyway, I get the views and people can choose when to watch, and I'm all good with that. So now the third one. And something I fear is that I'm going to run out of 2x2 tan jumpers. So I'm starting to think that I'm going to have to place a Bricklink order to get bulk of these. Because the last time I placed a Bricklink order to get like 10 2x2 jumpers, I had less rotor base plates than what I have now, because a while ago I did a whole video about where I got some more original vintage road base plates, and I apologize for any background noise because I live in a family of 4 and everyone's home right now. So anyway, never mind that. Where was I? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I bought my last haul of those elements before I had more road base plates. And so when I was placing those orders, that would have been for the amount of base plates I had at the time. And I'm guessing that I didn't allow for getting any extras as a surplus. So that only adds to my thoughts that I'm going to need to place another Bricklink order to get like 10 2x2 tiles. And also, you may be asking yourself, Mayo, why are you using light tan color rather than a light bluish grey color? Well, I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. When I went to Hawaii back in 2016, I went to the Lego store in the shopping mall in Honolulu. And that was my first time I ever went to a Lego store. And I was extremely disappointed of how small that store was. And that's understandable because Hawaii is one of the less populated American states of the United States. So its Lego store was smaller, and its Walmart and its Target were smaller. So compared to the Lego store in Marion in South Australia, I'm very thankful for the size of my local Lego store's pick-a-brick wall. And apparently, my local Lego store's pick-a-brick wall is one of the biggest in the world. I'm thinking it's in the top 10, along with stores like the Flatiron Building in New York City, Sugarloaf Mills in Gwinnett County, Georgia, and the one near Disney World in Orlando, Florida. It used to be called Downtown Disney, but it's since been renamed to Disney Springs, FYI. So when I went to the Lego store in Honolulu, one of the pieces that they had bulks, that they had a lot of quantities of, was light tan 2x2 jumpers. And when I saw those, I was thinking, well, I do want to rebuild my Lego city. And at the time, it wasn't built properly. The roads were very messy. I had buildings disassembled, which is kind of where I'm at right now. And I didn't used to have pavement because I just used the studs of the road base plates itself for the sidewalks of my roads. But then the more and more YouTube videos I watched, the more and more I realized that it would really improve the look of my Lego city to actually have proper tiled sidewalks. And I was going to go with the light bluish grey colour, but when I saw bulk of the light tan versions on the pick-a-brick wall in the Lego store in Honolulu, I thought, why not, instead of having my footpaths looking like concrete, why don't I try and make them look like sandstone instead? And light tan versions are much cheaper than light bluish grey versions because everyone uses light bluish grey for their footpaths. I thought I could save money and have my sidewalks be a unique look in comparison to other cities. So I thought, why not? Let's do this. And now I've adopted the light tan color scheme of my sidewalks, That's what I'm going to stick with. And something that just crossed my mind is that in some places of these road plates, in between at the 1x2 studded gap right here, which just is just the road base plate. I'm thinking in some spots I might put 1x2 grill elements. This is my third one. So let's connect them together. Actually, I need to take these Technic pins out because I've already got Technic pins in there. Alrighty-o. So that is the third. I think I'm just gonna have to shift some of this stuff out the way temporarily, like this boat. I've done a video about that. So I've done 3 straight roads. Now, that's a T intersection. There's a straight. There's another straight. That's a T intersection. There's another straight. I'm not sure about this yet. There's another straight. And yes, that's all the straights I have right now. Alright, let's move on to the 4th straight road plate. And I'm going to continue this live stream until I have paved every single one of these road base plates I have here right now, because I need to get this stuff done in preparation for the Lego City Mayo City update that will be coming out on I apologize for that. Got something in my throat. That'll be coming out on Monday. And normally I like to put out my podcast episodes on Monday. But Thursday is July 1. So I need to get my Lego City Mayo City update for the month of June out in the month of June. So I'm going to be switching the order of some of my uploads. And I'm going to have my podcast episode come out on Thursday instead. And I'm thinking that I'm going to take a break from podcast episodes 2 weeks from now to realign the schedule. A most impromptu change in my schedule, because I didn't know that Thursday was going to be the start of July. And I need to do some more research about the next theme I want to talk about in Mayo's random vintage Lego, because I have done vintage castle, I've done vintage pirates, I've done vintage space, I've done vintage trains, and the introductory episode I don't think had a theme specific. I think I was just talking about why I like the vintage Lego scale. And as I always say when I bring up vintage Lego, if you aren't subscribed to Brickzar and you like vintage Lego, Brickzar is your home for vintage Lego. And if you're fairly active in the Lego online community, you must be living under a rock if you don't know who Brickzar is. He does a lot of awesome, entertaining, and informative content with vintage Lego. A lot of the stuff on my YouTube channel, Mayohosko, is heavily inspired by Brigzar, as well as another channel called Matt Simmons, who was actually the inspiration for me liking vintage Lego in the first place. I had a lot of vintage Lego sets when I got into the Lego hobby back in 2005 that I inherited from my brother. But back then, I didn't have the appreciation for vintage Lego that I have now. Matt Simmons was the first YouTube channel I saw to have an all vintage Lego set city, and the Brigzar and the Matt Simmons YouTube channels are in the descriptions of my videos, because they are my two biggest inspirations for Mayo City, which is a vintage Lego city that uses a lot of modern day parts. So the challenge I like to put upon myself when building city mocks is, how can I make modern specialized pieces look vintage? And with pieces that I don't know how to incorporate into my city, I end up using 4 vintage space mocks instead. Like, one of the most noteworthy parts I can think about is the 2x4 by 3 and 1 or 2/3, I want to say, angled stanchion pieces that were in a lot of the classic space sets. I don't really have a need for those stanchion pieces in my city, so I like to make vintage space mocks out of them. And there's a lot of other industrial type specialized pieces that don't really work in my vintage Lego city, so I use them for space mocks instead. And I've got a lot of those pieces, and hopefully I can make not only vintage town mocks, but also a lot of vintage space mocks, because I really like the color schemes of I really like the build style of the classic space theme, which is what I focused on in my Mayo's random vintage Lego podcast episode about space. I specifically focused on classic space because that has the most sets and that has the most lore about it. But I will be doing another Mayo's random vintage Lego podcast episode about all of the vintage Lego space themes after classic space up to Life on Mars. I think that was the cutoff for vintage space. So I need to do a bit more research about that stuff, and for themes like Futuron and the two Blacktron and the 2 Space Police and Mtron and Ice Planet 2002, which was released in 1992. I don't know why they called it Ice Planet 2002. I think a lot of people are still to this day stumped about that name. Unitron, Spirius, Explorians. What else? What am I trying to think of? Some of the mid-90s. UFO and insectoids, stuff like that. There's a lot of lore in those themes that I'll need to research in preparation for my next Mayo's Random Vintage Lego podcast episode. So that's why I'll be taking a 1 week break after the next episode for podcasts. Just giving you guys a heads up because you deserve to know. So that's the 4th road base plate. Can connect it to my street. And my street is so long that I'm not going to be able to get it on camera without knocking over my microphone. Okay, road base plate number 5. Let's get to this. So, what else can I talk about? I'm kind of just scrambling to think about ideas for small talk, if I'm being honest. But while I'm doing this, while this live stream is about Mayo City, let's talk a little bit about my plans for Mayo City. If you want to hear some of my more in-depth details about what I have in store for the ever-progressing updates of Mayo City, you can go check out the Mayo City playlist to see all of my updates. I've been doing updates since the month of March. So I want to have a beach in Mayo City. And I want to have the water in front of the beach be 2 16 by 32 blue base plates. And I want to have the beach section, the sand, also be half of the 2 halves of 2 halves of 2 light tan 32 by 32 base plates, because I need to have my beach in front of my train line, and that train line for the circuit of my Lego city kind of gets in the way. So what I'm thinking about doing is I want to get some light tan bricks and slopes to try and make sand dunes so that I can make a tunnel for my trains, but the tunnel look like sand dunes to kind of get an illusion and hide away the trains from the beachgoers. And I'm thinking about having a boardwalk coming over those sand dunes and coming out to a little park section, like a very small park. I might have to get some regular green plates to put on top of the light tan 32 by 32 base plates to fill in a corner, because the train line goes around a curve by the beach, and that makes it even more difficult because the tunnel is going to have to be curved. And that means the sand dunes is going to have to be curved. So that's probably the biggest piece of landscaping I'm going to have to do for Mayo City, is creating a sand dune tunnel. And I'm thinking about having some of the flower stem pieces be in those sand dunes to look like sand grass or whatever type of plants can grow inside of a sand dune, so that I can get a little bit of color, so that it's just not a boring blob of light tan sand color. I want to make it look interesting. So I'm thinking if I spread around some of those flower stem pieces and put them inside of a tile, like a 2x2 light tan tile, I think I can make a realistic looking sand dune, because the beaches that I always go to on the coast of my city, in real life, the sand dunes have sandy grass growing in them, so that'd look realistic and it'd add a nice pop of color into an otherwise boring blob of sand. And I might try and create some rock details within the sand. I might try and get some snake pieces so that I can have snakes wandering through the dunes, because when I go to my beaches, they always have warning signs that there are snakes about, so that only further adds to the realism. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to have an open gap. Thinking about having an open gap where the boardwalk down to the beach crosses over the train line, be a wooden bridge, so that I can save on some light tan bricks and try to make a rustic looking reddish brown wooden bridge, because I really like the color scheme of reddish brown and regular green with a light tan color. I think that's a really earthy tone color scheme. And who knows, if I'm lucky enough to find some of the dark tan flower stems and some of the medium nougat color, which I think used to be medium dark flesh on Bricklink, but they changed the names of the nougat colors to match what Lego officially calls the color, whether it's a medium nougat or light nougat or dark nougat. I think Bricklink was getting some controversy about that, so they had to change the names. I won't get into that stuff because I don't want controversy on my channel. So moving on. Where the train line curves in the sand dunes, on the outside of that curve, what I'm thinking about building is a luxury beachside hotel. And if you know Matt Simmons, you know his vintage Lego City, he has a hotel on his beach as well. I'm going to take off these white socks because my feet are getting hot. And I'm going to have a water break. Hashtag always stay hydrated. And it is 9:26 p.m. in South Australia, and we're about to approach 50 minutes on this live stream. So I'm thinking it's going to take me 10 minutes to do each of these road base plates. So I'm thinking we might get to the 2.5 hour mark, which is both good and bad. If you're going to tune into a live stream, people kind of expect live streams to be long anyway. So that's not a problem for me doing a long live stream. I might have to put my laptop on charge so that I can keep this stream going. And I just hope I don't trip over my microphone cable. I hope that the audio quality of this live stream is better than my others, because the previous live streams I've done, I didn't have my external Blue Yeti microphone connected to my computer while I've been streaming. So do let me know in the comments down below if the audio quality is noticeably better, because I think I've finally got my Blue Yeti microphone cable more reliably connected to the USB ports of my laptop. And for a while there, it was really jerky. It was very finicky, and it was causing me a lot of grief with my university studies, particularly because I was communicating with people on collaborative video calls, and it was pretty embarrassing that my microphone wasn't working. But I think my microphone is working better now, and that will only motivate me to do more videos using my microphone. So hopefully I can do more videos with a voiceover. Hopefully I can keep doing regular weekly podcast episodes on Monday, because to be honest, I really enjoy doing those podcast episodes, and I hope that you guys like listening to those podcast episodes. And because I'm not focused on the visuals in this live stream, and because in general I don't like to focus on the visuals in my live stream, a lot of my live streams can actually be listened to on the replay as a podcast. And I know that people really like to listen to podcasts when they're doing work or chores, or they're filing paperwork or something, or they're doing PC gaming, and they want something to listen to in the background that isn't music. So that's what I do when I'm doing stuff on my computer. I always strap on a podcast in the background. And so I'm glad that I've been able to get a podcast series going, because podcasts are very fun to make and they're very easy to listen to. And podcasts will only get more and more popular. But one thing I will say about my podcasts is that I don't want to put my podcasts on Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio or SoundCloud or any podcast streaming services, because I don't want to have to pay, and I don't have any sponsors or anything for my podcast. So one day, if I do get my YouTube channel to be monetized, whenever I can get 1,000 subscribers, as I said repeatedly, I'm on 131 subscribers right now. And I actually gained 2 subscribers in the last 2 days. So that's made me happy. It always makes me smile when people subscribe to the mayohosko YouTube channel. And hopefully you guys can get involved in the mayohosko community. Because as I've said in multiple videos, my YouTube channel would not be possible without you guys. And besides my friends and family, you guys are honestly the most important people in the world to me, because you guys enable me to keep doing these YouTube videos. I wouldn't be getting the views if it wasn't for you guys. And so whenever I get the opportunity, I'll always say thank you for all the viewers who watch my videos, whether you watch a specific niche of videos I do, which is why I have a lot of playlists for the different styles of videos that I do, or you watch every upload that comes out, and those who are really keen to know when my videos come out, they have clicked on the bell icon so that they are notified of all my uploads. I value all of you guys, and again, I just want to say thank you, because I'm really looking forward to the Mayohosko Winter Bonanza, and I'm looking forward to the second Mayohosko Summer Spectacular for the summer of 2021-2022. I'm really looking forward to all of those peak periods for the Mayohosko channel, because that's when I get the most enjoyment of filming videos, when I've got nothing better to do than do projects like building mocks for my city, which I can then show in city updates, and I can do individual videos about those mocks. I like sharing what I create, and I know that people who have reached out to me, whether it's been on my social media, whether it's been in the Mayohosko fan club, which is a Facebook group. If you want to join the Mayohosko fan club Facebook group, feel free to comment that down in the comments, or reach out to me on my Facebook, which, along with my Twitter and my Instagram, as well as my Patreon, is in all the descriptions of my videos. If you have an interest in joining the fan club, reach out to me so that I can send you the link so that you can find it, because I don't, as of yet, I'm small enough where I don't need to do invites, because I want as many people to get to be involved with the Mayohosko community as possible. So that is the 6th base plate, and I think for space, I'm going to have stacks of 3. So that's what a stack of 3 would look like, and without having a grip on the bottom, you can see that they are standing still. So that's 6 base plates down. Let me just reach over here. I apologize if you saw my armpit. Okay, let's move on to the last of the straight roads. Then we can move on to the curves, the crossroads, and the T-junctions. And as you can see beside me, my pile is getting smaller and smaller. So yeah, I'm really thinking that I'm going to have to place another bricklink order, because I've still got 5 or 6 road base plates over there that are the 2nd generation, the ones sold from 1987 to, I want to say, 1996. The ones that only have 7 studs on the side of the road, because on each side of the road they have a bike lane that is 2 studs wide. And oftentimes the road base plates with the bike lane are cheaper than the road base plates without the bike lane that have the 2 extra studs on the side of the road, because they were in production for a longer time. and more of them were sold. So the one store I go to, a store called Toys R Go / Galaxy Toys on a Goodwood Road in Cumberland Park, South Australia, is where I've gotten a lot of these vintage road base plates. They are a really awesome store, and I've also gotten a lot of vintage road base plates from another independent Lego store that unfortunately went out of business called Toy Corner because they couldn't pay their rent. So it's kind of sad that they went away, but to be honest, their prices were very, very high. And now that I've had a Bricklink account for the last 5 years or something, I've grown to realize that Bricklink prices are much cheaper than Toy Corner ever was. So I guess they just couldn't compete with online sellers on Bricklink or Brickowl or Lego's Bricks and Pieces. And by the way, if you want to buy Lego pieces from Bricklink or you want to buy sets on Bricklink, I have a section in my description of where I buy Lego. So there's a link to Bricklink, and there's a link to Lego.com, and I believe there's a link to eBay as well in the descriptions of all of my videos. So yeah. What else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about the Victory Lap Raceway. So, in my previous generation of Mayo City, which was on top of my 6x4 foot table, the Victory Lap Raceway was independent from my Lego City. It was on a different table entirely. I used to have a blue desk, but when my room was renovated, we got rid of it because I wasn't getting much use out of it anymore, and frankly, it was taking up too much space. So where I have my train yard and my gold mine right now, that corner is where my blue desk used to be. And if you've seen the video about the Mayo City Raceway, you know all about the layout of that raceway circuit and the blue desk. And eventually I realized, you know what? The Victory Lap Raceway is such a cool set. It belongs in my main Mayo City layout. So I decided to put it in, and it really makes that street pop in terms of the visual appeal. And so ever since then, I've converted the Mayo City 500 back to a street circuit. And because I don't want Mayo City to be in a permanent state of set up for the Mayo City 500, a little piece of inspiration, an idea I got from something that Matt Simmons used to do in his Lego Town. I've mentioned Matt Simmons and Brigzar a lot of times, and remember that I have links to their YouTube channels in the description down below, because they were the two inspirations for my channels. So I strongly blah 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 blah. I can't talk right now. I strongly suggest that you go and check out their YouTube channels and tell them that, and if you tell them that mayohosko sent you here, feel free to send me a screenshot of your comment to them saying that. Send that screenshot to me, and I will give you a shout out in my next social media posts and my next YouTube video. And I see that we got our first like for the live stream, so that's cool. Thank you for the viewer that liked the live stream. That means that someone was watching for a period, and that really makes me happy. And speaking of viewers, something I've neglected to talk about is a piece of advertisement that one of my loyal Patreon supporters, Captain Matt, if you're a regular on the mayohosko channel and you've looked at the comments of some of my videos, you will recognize his comments on my videos, and he's probably my top commenter. He is one of my best friends. He is a loyal supporter of mayohosko on Patreon, and he has his own YouTube channel. And there is a link to his YouTube channel in the in every description of my videos. So if you haven't already done so, I'd recommend you go check out his channel. I think he's got 28 subscribers. So with the power invested in me, mayohosko, I ask that everyone in the mayohosko community, try and help get Captain Matt's YouTube channel to 100 subscribers so that he can get a custom URL for the web address of his YouTube channel like me. I was super stoked when I got 100 subscribers, which was, I think, in December of 2020, I want to say, because that meant I qualified for a custom URL. And it's a bit of a story about my custom URL, but that is the 7th road base plate that's got its tiling on. That's the last of the straight roads. Actually, I will put another pair of Technic pins inside these Technic bricks, because this is the last of the straight roads. And now, let's see what I've got most of. There's one curve, one crossroads, one T-junction, two T-junctions, two curves, three T-junctions, four T-junctions, a parkway, two crossroads. Okay. I think I'll save the curves for last. So let's tackle the T-junctions next. Now these will require, I think, slightly less like 10 2x2 tiles because there's less walkway required. I'll do the walkways or the sidewalks on the inside of the curves. And for the T-junctions, I'll need 6 1x2 Technic bricks and obviously 6 Technic pins to make the sturdy connection. Yeah, I'm really running low. And what am I going to do here? Because now I'm running into a problem. because the road base plates, these road base plates have a 9 stud gap. That creates an odd number. So what should I do? What I think I'll do is I'll quickly use my brick separator to get these up. And I think I'll have where I would place the 1x2 Technic brick. Oh, that went flying. I'll put another either a 1x2 plate or a 1x2 tile next to it. So let's get paving on the insides of these corners of the T-junction. Yeah. And so, yeah, sorry for getting distracted. The idea that Matt Simmons gave me is to double up the Victory Lap Raceway as a pit row, as the pit row and the garage spaces for my Formula 3 type vehicle, type racing cars, and actually have the pit row be repair bays for auto service, and then on the other side of the at the bottom of, if you know what the Victory Lap Raceway looks like, you can go look for pictures about that around the internet, or see if you can find it on videos on my channel, like my Mayo City updates, or the video I did about my old Mayo City Raceway. That is an archived video, because that was originally uploaded in 2017 before I deleted all of my old videos because of the Child Online Privacy Protection Act was enabled by YouTube. I re-uploaded that video, and that's and all of my other archived videos are in the playlist. I believe it's called Mayo's Archives or something like that. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me down in the comments below. So yeah, at the bottom of those stairs, I thought, why not I try to create 2 lanes of fuel pumps so that I can double up the Victory Lap Raceway as a service station that offers both your standard refueling pumps, your gasoline petroleum pumps, but also have auto service with the pit lanes that would be used on race day for pit stops for the cars, like refueling and changing tires and giving more motor oil and oil changes to the cars if need be. Why not also have service station auto service staff offering those same auto service jobs for regular motorists, and have that be the main place where cars can get a maintenance. And so on non race days, I figured, why not have the garages, instead of storing the cars, because the cars would be on their team transport tractor trailers going to the next city down the highway or whatever, can actually utilize those garage bays for auto service jobs, like giving your cars a tune-up, doing inspections on underneath your cars, like if there's something in the chassis of your car that needs to be repaired, lubrication of parts, maybe try and squeeze in a car wash off to the sides of one of the garages. There's a lot of interesting things I could do to double up the purposes of my Victory Lap Raceway for race cars and for regular motorists on non-racing days. So I want to thank Matt Simmons for giving me that idea, because I want to roll with that idea for Mayo City, because it saves space and it gives a lot of interesting details to the space itself, and it frees up space for me to put in more different types of buildings into Mayo City, so there can be a variety of buildings in Mayo City, whether it be office buildings, whether it be commercial buildings, whether it be retail buildings, anything like that, whether it be public service, whether it be industrial, like one of the main industrial buildings I've had an idea about doing for a long time is trying to build something resembling the Public Works Centre set. Let me just check. Yep, microphone is still connected. The Public Works Centre from, I believe it was 1978, which if you've seen Jane Brick's review of the Public Works Centre, you'll know that was the first Lego set that he can remember having. And I think the Public Works Centre is one of the best Lego town sets of all time. Yes, it may be from when the minifigures first started, and a lot of the sets back then had a lot of blocky details. There wasn't a lot of small details. They started getting better with the small details after during the mid-80s and onwards. But I like how much playability the Public Works Centre has. My only criticism is that, well, if you don't know the Public Works Centre set, I would strongly suggest you go look for pictures of it on the internet and search for Jane Brick's review of that set. By the way, I don't pretend to know all of the set numbers for the sets, so I'm not that person that knows the set numbers off by name or off by heart. So I forget a lot of set numbers. And if you do know any of the set numbers about the sets I've talked about, feel free to comment what those set numbers are, because I'm very lazy and I don't like to research that stuff for myself, because it's not a priority for me. Priorities for me is things like researching stuff for Mayo's Random Vintage Lego podcast episodes, which come out every Monday, except for this Monday, because as I said earlier because Thursday is the 1st of July, I'm going to have to have the Mayo City update for June come out on Monday, and then have the next episode of Mayo's Random Vintage Lego come out on the Thursday. So I apologize for that change in the schedule, because I like having podcast episodes come out on Mondays. Yeah. So I talked a little bit about that, and let's move on to something else. Let's talk about the the airport that I want to build for Mayo City. And I think I've talked about this in some of my Mayo City updates. But I want to have the taxi rank for the airport be on a curved road base plate. And I want my airport to be inside of the bottom shelf of my bookshelves. Just done with this T junction. So that is the 8th road base plate that has its tiles on. So just pull out these tiles. Pull out these Technic pins because they're not needed right now. I already have Technic pins I can connect. Ooh. And you see a little bit of grime. It's not going to focus really well, but there's some grime on these road base plates that I'm going to need to have to scrub off with a wet wipe or something, or find a chemical solution or something. Get that grime off. So yeah, let's talk about the let's go on further. So I still want to have my airport on a 32 by 32 base plate. But what I'm thinking about changing about it is I want to have it on a 32 by 32 base plate, but I want it to be an L shape, so that I can have divide the sections more carefully. Like I can have a designated section for the garage space of the baggage handling cart, instead of it just sitting outside in the cold, exposed to the elements. Let's have a drink break. Hashtag always stay hydrated. I've been talking for nearly 1.5 hours now. We're going to keep on going. But let me just look at Forge of Empires a second. Got some stuff I need to do in my mobile gaming. While that loads, put on a few more tiles, jumpers. Okay, I think I need to collect something. Yes, there we go. And is there any fights here coming up soon? No, that looks like it's an hour away. Okay, and I'll just quickly do something without having to hold up one of my waiting lists. I apologize for this. Go grab a sip of water while I mess around with this stuff. Okay, looks better. Have to bring this back. Make it right again. There. Okay. Yeah. So I want to have a wall that properly divides the waiting area and the gate from the terminal to getting onto your plane. I'm thinking I do want to attempt to build an air bridge, so that passengers getting to their planes don't have to walk outside. And I have an element, a trans clear a trans light blue window element that just might do the job. And if you know about the Lego City Airport, the first one with the Lego City logo from 2006, you know the type of trans light blue window I'm talking about. I'm going to have to go searching for... I'm actually going to have to go searching for some jumpers. Okay, that's 4. That's 5. Where are you? I'm getting really low on jumpers now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there was one that popped out over here. No, I can't find that. Yeah, I'm thinking this live stream might end a little bit earlier than expected because I'm running extremely low on the parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11. There's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Just trying to turn these things over to see if they are actually jumpers or if they're just tiles. 18. Come on, get off you. Yeah, I think I only got 18 left that I've got on me right now. I probably have some more 2x2 jumpers around here somewhere, but I'm not going to leave this spot right now to go out and find them because that would be a waste of the viewer's time or the listener's time if you're listening to this as a podcast on the replay. Yeah, I think I'm not even going to have enough light tan tiles to do the rest of this T-junction road base plate. I'm going to get some of the long straight side, but not the whole way. So I think, and yeah, this is the last of the 2x2 light tan jumpers I have right now. So that is a very good piece of work, if I don't say so myself. Tiling 8.5 road base plates, if you can give it that. But I do have the pieces to where are they? Where did I put them? You know what? I don't even have... Wait, surely. Didn't I have another? Oh yeah, over here. Silly me. I was looking at the wrong one. I'm pretty sure I have enough dark bluish grey 1x2 Technic pin bricks to at least put the Technic elements in. 4. I need 6. Is that Technic pin? Yes. 5. Need to get 1 more. And 6. Okay, so at least I can put the Technic elements here for connecting the base plates. Put them in their place. And now I need to get 6 Technic pins. yeah. So going continuing on. So I want to have a proper division between the gate to get out to for passengers to get out on the airplane, a proper walled off area for waiting, and I might try to incorporate a coffee shop or something in there for passengers to get a bite to eat while they wait for their planes, and all of that be at the end of a pathway that splits off into two after the security after the security zone where passengers can get their bags checked, and that be in between the waiting area and the ticket desk where you can buy your tickets. And I think I want to make that a yellow building. So I think I'll have to get some yellow bricks from Bricklink to make that. And I think I want to have some black stripes to match the color scheme of the 1986 airport. And I think I want to make it a double. I think I want to make it a double level, so that the waiting area and the gate to get out onto your plane, hopefully via an air bridge, so that you don't have to walk outside exposed to the elements and walk on the tarmac. Hopefully I can get an air bridge and have steps and escalators going from the ticket desks. Then you go upwards to get yourself checked by the security, and then underneath have the garage sections for the baggage handling carts and the refueling pump carts that have the fuel to refuel the aeroplanes, and the conveyor belt system, so that that brings your checked baggage from the ticket desks to the baggage cart, so that the baggage cart can get your checked baggage to put it on the planes. I want to make that a double level so that I can actually have it set up in a way that is more realistic than what the 1986 airport was. Because the 1986 airport was on, the terminal was on a 16 by 32 base plate, but the building itself was only probably about a third of the area. So I want to maximize that so I can get a lot more details. And who knows, I might be able to get an aeroplane jail that is a holding cell for if the security catch any drug smugglers or foreign substance smugglers, they can hold them in that holding cell and then get carted away to the police station. And hopefully I can get the runway to be 3.5 road plates long. That is the proper aeroplane runway road base plates that were in the Vintage Town airport sets, like the original one from 1986, the International Jetport from 1990, and the Century Skyway from 1994, which the Century Skyway is my favourite Lego airport ever. I just love the design of the terminal, and I think it has the best build for a vintage style aeroplane. It's very cutesy, and I like its red, white, and blue color scheme. That's predominant. I think it's predominantly white with red and blue stripes. So, yeah, that's really all I wanted to get done in this live stream. I want to thank the viewers who popped up for any brief amount of time when this was live. I want to thank that viewer who liked this live stream. That makes me feel good, so I say thank you. And I look forward to the viewers that listen to this on the replay or watch this on the replay. What you guys have to say down in the comments below. Your thoughts about the stuff I've said. Your thoughts about the progress that I've made in preparation for the Mayo City update that I hope to get out this Monday. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. Feel free to feel free to like, comment, and share this video with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and to be notified of all of my videos, to get the notifications, please click that bell icon so that you can get those notifications. If you want to contact me or reach out to me on my social media, you can check out my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Twitter. Links for those are in the description below, as is the link to my Patreon, where you can get a lot of behind the scenes images, early access to my videos, and a lot of other content that I might not otherwise show on my social media in that moment before that stuff gets put onto YouTube videos. A lot of juicy stuff there that you can get, as well as voting rights, so that you can get administrative control on some things. Like, I'll hold regular weekly polls so that viewers can decide what types of videos they might want to see, what things they want to see in my videos, what things they want to see me build in my videos. Any way I can give control to those who want to support me on Patreon, I want to make that happen. And I like having the votes, the polls on my Patreon, because I like giving my viewers somewhat of control of what goes up onto these YouTube channels, because it really brings the community together of mayohosko. And in general, if you just want to see the production value of my channel grow, feel free to support me on Patreon. As I said, all the links that I've just talked about are in the descriptions of all of my videos. What I will say is that when I can get to $100 on Patreon, that's in Australian dollars, I will be holding monthly $10 giveaways. And if I can get to 200 subscribers, and I can get to where the likes per view ratio of all my videos is 50%, I will upgrade that $10 gift card to a $20 gift card for any online commerce, whether it be Amazon, whether it be eBay, whether it be Lego.com, whether it be an online EFTPOS gift card, any type of gift card coupon that you can redeem for online purchases to a value of 10 Australian dollars. Hopefully that can get upgraded to 20 Australian dollars. Incentives for you to pledge on Patreon, so that every month you have a chance of winning that. Because to get around the YouTube terms of service, I prefer to hold giveaways on Patreon instead, and that becomes a perk for the loyal people who decide to support me on Patreon. Anyway, all of the links for that stuff down in the descriptions. I'd love to get in touch with you guys. I love hearing what you guys have to say, because you guys are the lifeblood of my YouTube channel. I love reading all of your comments. I read every single one of your comments, and we can get involved in an engaging conversation in the comments down below. or on any of my social media. It really warms my heart to have conversations with viewers, because it is my favorite part about my YouTube channel is the interaction between me, the content creator, and you, the viewer, who is watching this, is watching all of my videos, and is watching any of my videos on the mayohosko channel. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next live stream, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys. You guys are fantastic.